Finally, freaking finally, the rule had to change. We cannot be dealing with I'm offside by freaking pubic hair. It can't happen. So I'm so glad that this change is needed because you have to deal with the spirits of what freaking football is about, man. Thankful for this, man. And let's break it freaking down. Let's break it all the way freaking down, bro. You see, the offside has always been very, very tricky in football. Shout out to back in the Stone Ages when there was no offside, so you could literally just sleep in the goal and then just score like a 1-yard goal. But I think, it's always been very tricky because what makes football beautiful is that it's hard to score. And it is a test of your skill, strategy, ingenuity, creativity to try to break down the defense and try to score. It's a chess game. And I think the introduction of offside and meaning that you now have to now time your run to perfection to be onside and to what football is about, which is, it's hard to freaking score. But the offside rule in its current form is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Because if by the naked eye, you can't tell whether a guy is onside or offside, and then he's offside by literally a pubic hair, that's insane. That's dumb. It's stupid. And it goes against the spirit, which is that, does the attacker have an unfair advantage? That is the spirit of the law. The spirit of the law is, does the attacker have an unfair advantage? If he doesn't have an unfair advantage, then what are we saying? Being offside if you are ahead by the last defender by a pubic hair, that is not an unfair advantage. It simply isn't. So shout out to your boys IFAB, man. So apparently this is what's going to be tested out. So what we now know, what we've been using is the image at the top, which is that. So that would be offside right now. So obviously the guy in the white is the defender, the guy in yellow is the attacker. So that would be offside. And guys, I'm going to show you two crazy examples of where that image at the top, that's lie. There's stuff that's even more ridiculous, which is why we're now going to the one in the bottom. So when I was growing up, which is what's made it easy for linesmen, is if you can see daylight between the last defender and the attacker, that is offside. Because for me, the image below, that is an unfair advantage. There is a clear separation between you and the last defender. That is an unfair advantage. The image at the top, is that unfair? I wouldn't really call it unfair. Okay, yes, you were ahead, but I would not really call it unfair. Below, that's common. That's an unfair advantage. No, sorry. You cannot be standing right there ahead of the defender where there's daylight between you and the defender. That is clearly an unfair attacking advantage, and you have to be called offside. I think for the one on top, I don't think that's an unfair advantage. I don't believe it is. I do not believe it is. So for me, because you have to go back to the spirit of the law, because for those linesmen, with how quickly football is done, with how quickly football moves fast, it is very hard for a linesman to instantly know, oh, he's offside. This is the days before VAR. Before VAR, it was all through the human eye. So you're like, oh. But with this right now, we don't need lines now. Screw lines. Because you can clearly see, there's daylight now between. So we don't have to spend 3,000 years saying it's onside or offside. Through our eyes, we can just see, oh yeah, there is daylight. There's clear daylight, and there is a clear separation between him. And here's the thing, and this is why I'm happy. Even if there is a pubic inch, even if it's half an inch of daylight, any daylight between the last defender and attacker, you are offside. You are offside because, I'm sorry, that is enough room for the attacker to play through. So there's the slightest inch of daylight, the slightest inkling of daylight between the last defender and the attacker, you are offside. And for me, I think that is fair. So how did we get here? So I present to you Exhibit A. You see, I know what you guys will say. Oh no, show us on another angle. No. You shouldn't have to see different angles to be like, is he off? Is he on? So he's on from this angle, but it's off from this angle. No. If you're offside, you should be offside from pretty much any angle. It should be from any angle, you should be offside. This was during the Carabao Cup final. And to this day, I do not understand how Lukaku was called offside. I do not understand it. It just does not make any sense. Hence why the ruling was crazy, because I'm sure if by them ruling him offside, he must have been a negligible inch of his fingernail. I believe like the slightest inch of his freaking fingernail must have been ahead of Van Dijk. That is how ridiculous this is. And this was a Carabao Cup final. It's a cup final. There is a trophy at stake. There is history at stake to win a trophy. And this could have been a huge turning point for Chelsea and your boy Lukaku. But this is the Carabao Cup final. It's still big. It's still a cup final. It's still big. But it's the Carabao Cup. This is a Champions League knockout. 2019. 98 points. And I believe City also won the FA Cup that season as well. This could have been a treble. This could have been a Sterling hat-trick. And this could have been a City-Liverpool final, which I think City probably would have won. So, from the fact that Aguero is... Now, judging by the rule, oh yeah, he's offside. Judging by that rule that we already know of, yeah, from up there, yeah, he's offside. He's offside. We can see it clearly there. But the question is, does Aguero have an unfair advantage? Use common sense. Does Aguero have an unfair advantage on the last defender? The answer is no, he doesn't. Yeah, part of his body's head, but he does not have an unfair advantage. An unfair advantage is where you are ahead of the man. What do we say when we're just playing around, like on the streets and so forth? What do we call those guys? Goal hangers. What are goal hangers? Where you are literally right next to the goal. That's you have a clear unfair advantage of scoring a goal. From the naked eye here, nobody who understands football, plays football, will say Aguero has an unfair advantage on the last defender. So for me, this was an extremely harsh call. And the call ultimately cost City and also cost him a potential UCL. So because for me, no, I mean, it's harsh. Now, obviously, the live stream had to pop off, and we had to pop those bottles back and everything. But so, I mean, look, man, it is what it is. We had to say what's up, we had to say what's up. So we had to pop them bottles and everything, man. But my own personal crusade aside of wanting to see Pep fail at everything. No. Aguero does not have an unfair advantage. So I do like this because my thing right now is that what does this mean? Because people say, oh, are we not going to see teams a lot more defensive? And teams would now sit back a lot more? Not necessarily. Time your offside trap a lot better. Make your offside trap work a lot better now. Because here's the thing. Now, if you're Morata, you're like, yo, man, it's we up, baby. Because Morata, if he still gets caught offside with this ruling right now, then you really are a bum. You really are a truly bona fide bum if you are still offside with this new ruling. But for me, it is just for teams, as how teams used to do back in the day, your offside trap now has to be now really good right now. And you really need to time it. Because trust me, a very well timed offside trap, as before that guy strikes the ball, we all go up quickly, leave the guy out there, daylight, boom, he's offside. But what we can't have is the thing at the top where because again, it goes back to the points where an unfair attacking advantage. Now, people will say, no, come on, no, this is good because it now means that attackers now have to be much more craftier in their runs. There is a middle ground. And this is the middle ground. Okay, let's have a middle ground. Because some people will say, no, that makes it too easy for the attackers. It makes it too hard for the defenders if we're using the thing at the bottom. Now, the middle ground is tech. Do we all wear monitors around. And either we wear monitors around or by using tech, a particular percentage of your body. So if 60 or 70% of your body is ahead of the last defender, then that constitutes as offside. Anything less, you are onside. So, and a computer will be able to dictate right down to the precise percentage that, this percentage of your body is ahead of the last defender, he's off. Now, I don't know whether we have that tech yet because I'm seeing the automated system we have in the UCL where it's instant and it can show you a diagram. So I do believe that the tech does exist where, okay, if we're seeing the one at the bottom makes it too easy for the attackers, too hard for the defenders, and we need to add the elements of dot and doit to football, which we like, bring in tech and say, because we can't have a PBK, no. If 60, 70% of your body is ahead of the last defender, that is offside. So that's offside. Is it to 70%? So if your pubic hair is ahead, no. Like, so for that one basically for the diagram at the top, the computer should say, yeah, he's offside. But if we now move the attack a bit back and literally a fraction of his hand or just a fraction of his shoulders ahead, no. So if just a fraction of his shoulders ahead of the last defender, that is not an unfair advantage. It's not. I still feel the diagram at the top is not an unfair advantage. But if we want a middle ground, fine. I'm happy with, for a middle ground, if at the top, I'm happy with that to be called off. I'm happy. Because that diagram at the top, it ain't that. And it ain't that. and it ain't that. So if we can get an automated system that can say that is offside, but anything less than that, so if we now bring the attacker back a bit and his shoulder, just a bit of his arm is ahead, that is still onside, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that middle ground. But it has to change because what we have right now is absolutely ridiculous, man. Like, subscribe, peace.